You know the feeling? You work hard, you get a decent salary, maybe even one that looks great on paper. But then you get to the end of the month and you're just wondering, where did all that money go? Well, let's dive into this, because I'm here to tell you that that feeling is not your fault. Today, we're going to break down something called the salary trap, and it's a system that's pretty much designed to keep you running in place.
It's this weird paradox that so many of us are living in. I mean, on paper, you've got it made. The job, the income, what looks like stability. But your bank account tells a totally different story. You feel like you're just treading water. So what's the deal? How can you earn so much and still feel so incredibly insecure?
You know, it all starts with the daily grind. The source material for this explainer just nails this feeling of routine. After years and years at the same job, that sense of stability starts to feel a little bit, well, less like a safety net and more like a cage. You tell yourself it's security, but deep down, something just feels off.
And here is the absolute key takeaway. This is not a personal failure. It's not because you're bad with money. The system you're part of, the one that gives you that steady paycheck, is actually engineered to make you feel this way. It's not a bug, it's a feature. All right, so how does this system actually pull it off? How does it create this powerful illusion of security while keeping you trapped? Let's break it down piece by piece.
So let's meet Sarah. She's 34, makes 85 grand a year, which puts her in the top 20% of earners in the country. By every metric, you'd think she should be feeling pretty well off, right? Maybe even rich. But she doesn't. And her story is going to show us the first weapon the system uses against you.
And that first weapon, it's called money fragmentation. And trust me, it's a really clever trick that makes your money seem to vanish in all these little pieces, so you never really get a chance to see the big picture of what you're losing.
So, after taxes, Sarah gets a paycheck every 2 weeks for just under $2,500. Now, that seems like a pretty good chunk of change, but the system doesn't just hand it to her and wish her luck. Oh no, it does something way smarter than that. And boom, there it is. Before Sarah can even blink, her money is basically spoken for. $1,200 to rent, another $550 for the car and gas, $400 for groceries, you get the idea. And after all those essentials are paid for, you want to know what's left for her? $48. That's it, $48 for 2 weeks of actual choice or savings or fun.
And this is where the psychology of it is just genius. See, Sarah's not struggling, not really. She has a nice place, a reliable car, she eats well, she feels successful. The whole system of fragmentation gives her just enough comfort that she never stops to ask the really dangerous question, which is, hey, if I'm making $85,000 a year, why am I not building any actual wealth?
Okay, but fragmentation is only half the story. Let's get into the second weapon, because this is the one that keeps you stuck even when you start making more money. It's called lifestyle inflation.
I'm sure you've seen this play out. Some people call it the golden handcuffs. It goes like this. You get a promotion, a nice pay bump, awesome! And the first thing you think is, great, now I can finally afford that nicer apartment or that new car. So you upgrade. But now your fixed costs are higher, eating up that entire raise. And suddenly, you're not any freer. Actually, you're less free because now you're totally dependent on that bigger salary just to keep your head above water.
And that right there is the big lie we're all told. We're trained to think that a bigger paycheck automatically means more freedom. But inside the salary trap, it's the exact opposite. A bigger paycheck just means bigger, more stressful obligations. Your financial anxiety level can stay exactly the same, whether you're making 50 grand or 500 grand.
So here's the thing you have to burn into your brain. The number on your paycheck is almost irrelevant. True financial freedom is decided by one thing and one thing only: the size of the gap between what you earn and what you spend. And this entire system we're talking about is designed to make that gap as tiny as possible.
So when you put these two weapons together, money fragmentation and lifestyle inflation, you get this situation that feels really safe and successful from the inside. But in reality, it's incredibly fragile. It's what the source for this explainer calls the comfortable prison.
So I want you to take a second and ask yourself this question, and be really honest. If your job vanished tomorrow, poof, gone, how long could you keep up your current lifestyle? 1 month? 2? Maybe a few weeks?
If that question made you a little nervous, listen to this. You are definitely not alone. According to the data, over 60% of professionals are right there with you. At any given time, they are one missed paycheck, 1 month, away from a serious financial crisis.
Let's just be crystal clear about what that means. That is not security. It's not stability. It is a prison.
A prison with really nice furniture, maybe, but the bars are made out of car payments and subscription fees and rent checks, and it's all designed to make sure you keep showing up to that job every single day.
Okay, so that sounds pretty intense. I know. But here is the good news. The moment you can see the bars of the prison, you can start planning your escape. This is not a life sentence. And breaking free all starts with a huge mental shift in how you think about money.
First things first, you have got to stop thinking income and wealth are the same thing. They're not. Your salary, that's income. It's temporary. You have to trade your time to get it. Wealth, that's permanent. It's the assets you own, your savings, your investments, stuff that works for you, even when you're sleeping. One keeps you busy, the other sets you free.
So what's the actual plan? Well, it's simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Step 1, you attack the gap. You have to intentionally create space between what you earn and what you spend. Step 2, every single dollar you save in that gap gets redirected. Not into a nicer car, that's a liability, but into assets. Think a high-yield savings account or a low-cost index fund. And step 3, you build optionality. Your very first goal should be to save up 3 to 6 months of living expenses. That money, that's the key that unlocks the prison door.
Because the second you have that cushion, the entire power dynamic flips. You're not desperate anymore. You can negotiate for a raise with real confidence. You can take a risk on a new project. You can walk away from a bad situation. See, the ultimate goal isn't just a bigger salary. It's getting to a place where you don't need the salary.
And that's really the idea I want to leave you with. The salary trap is real, it's clever, and it feeds on our desire to be comfortable. But the people who escape aren't geniuses or lottery winners. They're just the ones who decided, at some point, that their freedom was way more valuable than their comfort. So the only question left to ask yourself is, which one do you value more?